country. With us is Joyce Kaufman, whose daily radio program on WFDL here in South Florida attracts many, many listeners, and many of which are here today. And I want the rest of the nation to know a little bit about what you feel is important here today.
Well, look, the most important thing is the people who turned out. For instance, there are tea parties going on all over the country. Some of them are featuring speakers, and some of them have big noted personalities at them, and that's all fine and dandy. But you know what I'm proudest of? The fact that the citizens of Broward County cared enough to come out today and tell the government that this is a government by the people, not a government at the people, that we're not paying taxes to them to do whatever they wish to. They're supposed to be following our lead, and we've had it. First of all, when did we start rewarding failure in this country and telling people who have been successful that they ought to be punished, and instead telling people who have messed up that we're going to pull them out of the fire? We don't believe that. That's not an American value. American values are hard work leads to prosperity, that a good education leads to prosperity, and we're not going to stand down anymore. We've been listening for the last 3 weeks to the fact that we're the radicals, we're the extremists, and we're the problem in this country. I've got news for President Obama and for all the members of Congress. We're not the enemy. The enemy is radical Islamic fundamentalists. They want to destroy Western civilization, and we have a president who kowtows to them right now and has decided that he'd rather be on their side than on our side. Now, we're not going to stand down anymore. We're not going to take money and send it to Gaza. We're not going to take money and send it to Egypt, where they rejoice when they see Americans being killed in the World Trade Center anywhere else. Enough of this already. President Bush was just as guilty of not paying attention to what the citizens of this country are feeling. And now we've reached the tipping point. And that's why you see tea parties all over the country filled with Americans. And if you look around these crowds, there's no kooks, there's no extremists. I'm the kind of extremist Thomas Jefferson was. I believe in freedom. I believe that tyranny will be the downfall of this nation. And right now there are fascists in Washington who want to tell me who I am. I know who I am. I'm an American citizen. And I believe in opportunity. I believe in empowerment, not entitlement. If you give people a fair chance, they'll do well. If you take away every incentive for success, they'll continue to fail. So just join us. There'll be more tea parties. We'll be gathering in July. We're going to have a 1 million man march, which has already exceeded 1 million men, on September 12th in Washington. If you haven't been involved, you ought to get involved, because it sure does feel good to be surrounded by like-minded patriots. So thank you for your time this time. Until next time, Joyce Kaufman from Fort Lauderdale.
We have a radio personality. Broward Blvd does a weekend show on the Talk Radio Network. He was gracious enough to stop by and share his thoughts as to why he's here today.
I want to thank Joyce Kaufman for inviting me to the Broward County event. Real important to me. What we have here is people awakening to the recognition that we were born and founded in individual liberty, not collective slavery. I've got 2 kids, and right now they're being passed on a debt that is untenable, unconscionable, and can never be repaid. And so at this point in our history, we're going to have to recognize and remember the origins, the foundations of this country, why we were started. And so when we wake up and recognize what that is, then we have to say enough of this stuff, enough of this. We can no longer send our children and spend our children into slavery, economic or any other form of slavery. So this is the message today that I see going on. People are recognizing the problem and wanting to take back the government that was designed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. The constitutional republic, a limited government. Our founders understood that they have to be bound down by the chains of the Constitution, not a democratic vote, and we should not abandon what is known as the rule of law that is founded in our Constitution. So one of the things we've got to understand about slavery is that it comes in many forms. The 14th Amendment did not end it. In fact, it may have precipitated what we're seeing here today. With the passage of the Federal Reserve Act, it set the stage for what we know as unconstitutional money, money that was not backed by anything that our founders intended, especially that which was mentioned in the Constitution for these United States of America. And because of that, we have now a debt again that can never be repaid by our children and their children. One day it will have to be repudiated, but in the meantime, if we're going to be called on to work harder and harder for less and less, and of our children basically in an economic nation rather than one that really embraced capitalism, and the fact that they could be the best that they could be, go out and do what was great about America, the freedom to create the best life possible for themselves and all the others that they can help by their efforts, now being robbed from them by people in both parties, Democrat and Republican, that don't seem to understand that the people are the government and that the sovereign is the people. We left England, we declared our independence from the crown simply because we wanted self-determination. It's a very simple concept, and the grand experiment of freedom here in these United States of America shall not perish, but it won't with a crowd like this, with the Tea